Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. So I decided to jump into Martyna's super fun challenge over at Teal and Tattered. So this is the Teal and Tattered challenge, and I will link her video down below where she gives you all of the kind of lowdown on the challenge, but I'll also give you just a simple rundown of what it is. So Martyna has created a list of prompts for us to use in basically once a month. She's going to kind of randomly draw 5 prompts, and the challenge is to sort of use things from your stash for these prompts and create whatever you'd like. It could be ephemera, journal cards, tags, it could be a whole journal, whatever you like, but it's really about bringing down your craft stash, like your stash of paper and whatever fabric, and I definitely need to do that. So she just chose the prompts for July in her last video, which I've linked below, and they are washi tape. So I grabbed this gold kind of goes with anything kind of washi tape, vintage inspired. So there's a lot of products out there that are created to be, you know, inspired by vintage things. Hold on. A lot of these kind of papers, this is what I grabbed for my vintage inspired. These are, you know, commercially made, like you find them in, you can find them online or in scrapbook stores, craft stores, whatever. So that's those. Things like Tim Holtz also are vintage inspired. Fussy cut birds. So I have an entire bag of those for when I break down my bird books. I don't always do that, but I sometimes do. Napkins, so I grabbed this one with these wildflowers on it that I got in Happy Mail, and fabric. So you can see I have some fabric hanging around here, but I have an entire like wooden crate of fabric that I keep next to me all the time for doing you know, work on journals. So in Martyna's video, she chose to do kind of the collage board method for creating journal cards and tags, and I honestly want to do the exact same thing. I know, like, typically I will try to take this in my own direction, but I'll still do that because my things will be different than hers, and I think our process will be a little different as well. But yeah, I just feel like doing some very relaxing collage, using some scraps, and just chatting with you. So I would love to do that today. You can tell that my voice is still a little funny, so I'm still kind of just have a stuffy nose, but I have this whole thing where a few years ago, I guess it's been about, I don't know. Well, actually I do know because my daughter is 5, so it was about 5.5 years ago while I was pregnant. I got this very terrible, like, cold thing. And I'm just going to grab some scraps. Hold on. So it was like, I guess, like laryngitis. And it kind of just never went away. It morphed many times. One second, I need one more thing. And by one more thing, I mean a bunch more things. Okay, so anyways, it kind of morphed into this weird, like, laryngitis, bronchitis, like, kind of thing. Like, it just never stopped. It just went crazy. And I lost my voice for approximately 2 months, and I thankfully I have really amazing coworkers, because like I have a very high demand job with clients, and my voice was gone. So at the time I was mentoring and training this wonderful person who is still my coworker, and she was reporting to me, and I was able to use her kind of as my I was like her puppeteer or something. Not really, but I mean that in a funny sense, that like she would do all the talking. I would kind of give her all the information. I would sit on a conference call with our client for posterity, but she would do all of the talking. I would do the background work and she would communicate what I was doing. It was actually a really funny experience and a nice way to work with someone. It was like one of those, you know, weird unexpected things that you don't really think about until like you get to do it. And it was a lot of fun, and it really brought us close, and I think, you know, we're very good friends as a result of that time. Yeah, but I don't want to go back there, so I'm really hoping that this like goes away and doesn't consider getting as crazy as it did the last time I had a thing. I don't think it's the same thing, because it's not, I'm not actually like sick. I was very sick for a long time when I had the other thing, but this time I'm just like, I have the weird voice, obviously, and a stuffy nose. I think it had a lot to do with the air conditioning at our vacation property. I think it could have been, you know, just that the filter was a bit dirty, or there was just a little too much air conditioning. So, but I'm okay. I will be fine. All right, so I'm using Amity Bloom papers here. I should have printed some Teal and Tattered, but I'm not making new things, right? I'm using up scraps and old things. So yeah, I just want to get a bit of a collage base down. And one thing I'll say about doing this kind of collage board is that I really enjoyed a tip from Martyna from a couple of weeks ago in one of her videos when she talked about her collage process, and that it was like, you know, what she likes to do when you're getting started on just some piece of random paper that you're using for your collage board is don't be afraid to just start sticking down large pieces. You know, we sometimes get worried that you know, the piece that we're putting down, it's so large that it will take up the whole collage or something, but it's not true, and it helps you to kind of deal with whatever paper you've got in front of you, right? So yeah, there we go. Now I am going to use some of the vintage inspired papers on the collage as well, just to get them down. Luna Moth is beautiful. Probably use, we'll say, 3, one neutral and one that's sort of not neutral and one that's definitely not neutral. It has a whole image there. So this one I'm just going to actually put at the bottom, or maybe at the top. I like it with that kind of beige tone. Yeah, so this morning it's kind of before my work day right now, and I'm just hoping I can get a little video in. I am working on a fun collaboration that's going to be coming up in a week or so. You'll have seen the intro video if you follow Release the Craftin'. It's going to be so much fun. It's called Camp Craftopia, and it's a collaboration organized by Release the Craftin' with myself, Kim at Serene Bookworks, April at Pink Oddbird, Priscilla, obviously from Release the Craftin', and Belle from Bellaboo Creations. And we are doing a summer camp takeover, Camp Craftopia, and for 5 weeks you will have a camp counselor, one of us 5, and we're going to guide you through 5 different themes, and each day we will make something, you know, some kind of artsy make. And if you want to follow along, you can do so. It's going to be a lot of fun, and Priscilla even designed on her website, Release the Craftin', you can download your own Camp Craftopia passport. So it's like you can use it to follow along each day, and you can check off each day that you completed your challenge. So it's summer camp takeover, and this is what I'm talking about, the creativity passport. So just a little blurb about that in this video, just because that's what's going to be coming up very soon. The week that I'm taking over is the 2nd week, which is the 18th to 23rd, I think. Yes, of July. Okay, maybe some green. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking really forward to it. I love doing projects with this particular group of friends. They are always very fun and outside the box, which I like. I think it's just fun to collaborate with people. And if you're watching this video and we've never collaborated and you'd like to collaborate on something, hit me up. I am a very easygoing person, so I would love to collaborate with you for sure. Now, maybe a little bit more of this green. It's so pretty. This is just vintage wrapping paper. And then I've also decided I'm going to take on volume 2 of Roxy's creations, the Roxy Journal of Stitchery. I really enjoyed making that, and I definitely want to make another one. So the themes for the next one, you can check out their channels, obviously, and I'll do a separate video on that when I get it started. I started looking at materials today, so that will be coming. It's going to be either a Christmas or winter theme. I'm not really a Christmas person, so I'm going to go with the winter theme, and I'm going to change it up to maybe like a winter lore, which is more my thing, like a nature kind of lore of winter kind of theme. So the first prompts are already out. So it's going to be not 1 but 2 prompts a month this time, because a lot of the stitchers were kind of, you know, pretty rapid in their stitching, where others were slow stitching. You know, any pace is fine, doesn't matter. It just depends, you know, how long the project's going to last. And I don't think that really matters. We're not in any race, so it's all good. So yeah. It's going to be fun. I think I'm going to do a book that's ever so slightly smaller maybe than the last time. Because I think it's going to have about 14 to 16 pages with two of the prompts per month, plus like a title page, and I don't know. So it should be fun. I'm going to start planning on that. And then I have another idea that I want to try to get going this week too, as well as trying to finish the fairy journals. You're probably wondering, like, how are they going? So they're going good. So all of them are bound. Can you believe it? They're actually bound. And the next step right now for me, I have to go through them and just kind of do finishing touches, like, you know, going through making sure nothing is glued incorrectly or stuck together, and, you know, doing last minute kind of embellishing, adding clusters and things like that, like just the last little bits that I like to do, so that, you know, each page has been given some love. So that's the agenda for those. I'm also working, if you recall, I wanted to do 1 folio. I've been working away on that. It's getting started. It's going to be like, probably, it's going to come out after the rest of the journals, because I just don't have enough time to get it all done. I have a lot of projects on the go right now, and I also have a couple other things that I really want to get started. I've got some supplies that have been sitting languishing as I've been working through the fairy process. And I know for some of you who may be like, okay, Cindy, enough with the fairies, it's not your thing. You're probably like, when is she going to get on to doing something that's appealing to me? Well, hopefully that will be very soon, because I am certainly craving some shorter projects. I don't think I'm going to do a big mass make for a while. I've thought a little bit about maybe doing some kind of like gnome, maybe 2 or 3 gnome journals, because I know people really like my gnome journals, and I have some really fun gnome stuff. But that being said, I don't think I'm ready to start that quite yet. It was going to be a summer project, but I think I'm just gonna let it languish a bit, because you can only do so much in the time that you have. Okay, I'm just going to cut out another one of these labels, and then probably I'll set them aside because it's too much fussy cutting for right now. Okay, here we go. Put that one here. I think we've pretty much covered up the majority of the white space now, if not all of it. We got one little bit there maybe that we need to cover. Let's do that with some neutral brown from this dyed paper. Okay, collage board done. Now, excuse me. All right, get all those papers out of the way. Now we need to think a little bit about how we want to do this. So I think the first thing is probably working a little bit with the napkin. So let me grab the napkin here that I've chosen. And it looks like it's already separating from its layers, which is great. Okay, is that the last layer? I can't tell with this because it's brown, so let me just grab a piece of tape and see. Oh yeah, definitely it's the last layer. Let me see. Yeah, I think so. We'll just take a piece of tape and we'll check it though. All right, do it over here. Yeah, okay, all good. Now I'm going to just maybe think about where I want to use some of this and how. So I'll just cut one of the kind of blocks out. Set this over here. And I don't know how transparent this is going to be. Yeah, and it's definitely only one layer, right? Yep, okay. It's hard to tell with the color of this napkin. So I'm going to just glue a little right over here. And I don't glue right on the napkin when I use glue stick. I just glue on the surface. And let's see if that, yeah, that is not very transparent as a napkin. Okay, so that's okay though. That will educate me as to how and where I want to use it. I'm still kind of like, really? It's only one piece, but it is. It's just because it's like a craft paper kind of color. So let's decide where else this would be nice. I think maybe here. Go. Oops. Come here. Okay. I'm gluing everything to my fingers here. Oh, and we actually have some of the background that I didn't even see. It's funny when you're filming how like you can miss the most obvious things, and I think it's like really, really obvious to viewers, and they're like staring at you going like, what is wrong? Why can't you see this? You're yelling at your television. I'm sorry. Or your phone or whatever you're watching me on here. There we go. We'll get that one stuck down. Then, you know, that might be like enough in terms of napkin. It might be fine. So where is my prompt list? Here it is. Okay, washi tape, vintage inspired. So we've got vintage inspired and we've got napkin. And we're still going to need the washi tape and the birds. So I think I'll do the washi tape next because that can be done before I cut this up. I just have to find the end of the washi tape. There it is. Okay. Whoops. So we got a little funny piece there. That's okay, we'll still use it. I have to find the other edge of the tape. There it is. Okay. And we're just going to put random washi tape bits here. This is why I love this kind of collage, because it's like not too much thinking. It's just enjoy and play. Okay, I like to kind of go over the seams of the paper, and then do a few that are just random. Okay, one more over here, I think. All right. That way we'll get a little coverage across the whole thing. That should be good. Okay, so now I think we still need to use the fussy cut birds. So those will be the focal point because, like, clearly they're a great focal point. So I'm going to go ahead and I think just ink on here first because I can't deal with this white space. It's bothering me. Just gonna make that a little more vintage inspired. All right, so now I'm going to cut this up. So just put the glue over here for a moment. Okay, so I think what I want to do probably is like a combo of maybe tags and journal cards. There we go. And I think it just kind of takes looking a little bit at, you know, what you're cutting into. Like, you don't want to cut into anything like cutting a face in half or something, unless that's your intention. But at the same time, like, don't think too hard about it, because then you won't have the joy of like a random, you know, collage. So let's do that. That and that. So those are done. Okay, a few smaller ones. Those. That one I'll keep big. This one's kind of square and I don't really want to work with a square shape, so make those a little smaller. And then this one. Okay. All right, so here are our shapes, and I'll just lay them down here. Put them the right way. And they're a little curly because I still have to back them, and then I will stitch them as well. But for now, we'll just get them kind of laid down here. Move some of these over a bit. Some of this might be a little out of frame, and I do apologize. It's hard to fit everything here. All right. Okay, let's find birds for these. And fabric, we still have to do fabric, so it's okay. So let me grab the first of the birds. This beautiful quail. She's so pretty. I need to grab my fabric. Hold on. I'm like looking at this piece of like really fun tapestry-ish like woven fabric. I want to grab a hunk of that for one of these. And then I think I'll choose where I want that to be. I don't know if I like this with this or not. I think I need to stitch these on. So maybe I'll choose my fabrics first and then I'll get to the birds. So let's choose some fabric for each of these first. Just set our bird friend over here for now. So I'm just going to kind of look at the colors of each of these and find a fabric that I like that goes with them. So I've got some of this like pink floral kind of, this is like from a vintage bed sheet. I'm just going to tear it. that's a little big. So maybe we'll put a piece of that on here, and we could use the other piece on another one, maybe up here, a little smaller though, because these are just little. Okay, this one there, and then maybe right there. Okay, and then I have this old tea towel. Let me just cut some of it up here. Sorry, I can't hold everything in frame without mucking it up. So just give me one sec while I cut this fabric. That's the challenge, is not wanting to like move everything. Okay. There we go. Now, this one, I think I will cut a strip for maybe this, a little thinner. Oops. Like so. Then, right there. Just looking at my fabrics here. They're not incredibly organized. But that's kind of how I like it, because then I can just grab whatever I want. I don't have to stress about like folding it and putting it back. This is a cute little vintage, bit of vintage. That would go there nicely. Okay, then we have some green. Right, and then we just need two more. A bit of this would be nice. I'm really getting into these scraps that I've had laying around for a long time, which is great. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to actually stitch these on. I think that will look nice. I will also back everything off camera and then come back and we'll work on the bird focal points. Okay, so I have stitched the fabric onto the tags. I just did a simple square kind of stitch. Not tags, rather the ephemera, and I also backed everything with some kind of paper. It's either this old scrapbook paper from a 1920s scrapbook or other packaging paper or what have you, and I stitched around the edge. Now I've also gone ahead and chosen a bird for each one of these that's right nestled underneath. So yeah, let's get started on making these. So I will just set aside the rest of the ones that I'm not working on at the moment, and we'll kind of whip through one at a time, so that we don't have so much to focus on here. Let's start with that one actually. Okay. All right, so I'll start with this. I made this into a tag. I really love the blue, brown, and yellow, and I actually chose this quail for it. Now, this was a relatively thick fabric, so what I did was I put scrapbook paper, the old 1920 scrapbook paper that I'm using in the backings, on the back of this, so it would give it a little more sort of heft, so it will stay on the tag. And I'm going to attach this one with 3-in-1 Beacon Adhesive 3-in-1 glue, because it is good for paper and fabric. It's a good strong silicone based glue, so just get that on here. There we go. Just plunk it right there so it's just a little bit on top of the fabric. Oops, move it over a little. We're losing the tail. There we go. That's better. Okay, so that's one. Now we will move on. Let me just put the pin back in this glue because I don't know if I'll need it for all of them or not. So this little tag turned out so cute, and I chose this little owl for this tag. I think it will be cute there, but I think what I will do is I'm just gonna grab my glue book here and use it to do a bit of inking. Where is my... I'm just going to use vintage photo ink around the edge here because I think it'll look better than the kind of blue shade that's in the back of this. There we go. Yeah, I think the owl is very cute. The other thing that would be really nice on these tags would be word snippets, like a little word snippet to say something about the bird or the situation in the journal that you build from it. So you could always add that later if you wanted to, like if this was going to go into a nature journal or a fairy journal, maybe you have a little word snippet that talks about owls and fairies, or, you know, nature. That's that one. And this one, I chose this lovely bird, sort of a shore bird. And I'm going to do the same thing, just going around it with a bit of ink. And I'm using art glitter glue to attach these birds. And you could, if you wanted to put some fabric glue under this, you could if you didn't have art glitter glue. Art glitter glue actually works very well on paper, on fabric. Paper fabric kind of light application. I wouldn't use it to, you know, put a journal together that had fabric or anything, but for these small applications it works really nicely. And then I'll just touch the ink up again here. There we go. And then this one, I just chose this little bird, I think. Yes, this one. And I just want to plunk it right down here, and I'm actually not going to ink it. I'm going to leave it green. This is why it's always good to have fussy cut things ready to go. I definitely recommend if you are like the passenger in a car on a long drive, or you're sitting in front of the TV watching something mindless or whatnot, fussy cutting things out like this is always a great way to pass the time. And it doesn't cut into your otherwise busy time making art. This one, this little bird, the blue background, I'm gonna ink that one just a bit. Okay. And then this one I want to use as like a pocket maybe, and I'm going to use this pheasant on it. So I'll start by just giving it a bit of ink. I know we're going to lose a bit of the bottom of this one, so probably won't glue the feet on. Okay. I'll go ahead and just trim off the excess. Okay. And this one, I just got this little, I believe this is a frog mouth that's kind of curled up. They're the most fascinating, cute birds. Okay. And this beauty, this beautiful blue bird. And one thing I like about ink is often I don't feel like cutting those inside bits out when I'm fussy cutting. I do sometimes, it's just that it requires like a razor knife usually to go in and do that, and I don't always have one when I'm fussy cutting, so ink makes the problem just kind of go away, which is great. And this one I'm going to use the 3-in-1 glue because it's there's a lot of fabric on this. Let's give it a press for a moment. Okay. And these little birds, I'm actually just going to leave the blue background there. I know we're going to lose a little bit of this one, so just this tail. Sounds like my kids are getting ready to go in the pool. Screams of excitement up there, if you can hear them. Just do a little bit of inking over the plants there. Alright, and we're on to the last one where I'm going to use this beautiful owl. I just want to add some ink to the edges. And with the fabric, you actually could just have used it like at the top as like you know, you could have tied tags or added like a ruffle of fabric at the top of the journal card. You didn't have to use it in the surface. I just decided to, just for the fun of it. Okay, so let's get a recap of what we've made here from this fun set of prompts. So it's this washi tape, vintage inspired, fussy cut birds, napkin, and fabric. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 10 pieces of ephemera from one collage board. That was a lot of fun, and I would recommend participating in this challenge. It's a lot of fun, and we used up a lot of stuff, and that's great. So thank you, Martyna, for this fun challenge. I'm excited to take part on a monthly basis. It's a nice kind of, you know, small obligation. And yeah, leave me a comment if you're also taking part. I will check out what you've done. And I've also linked the Teal and Tattered video down below, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.